Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Cucchiara, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we roll through finishing up the end of a beautiful week here. And we are alongside, our team is here today in full force, all three of us, so watch out. Even if you didn't ask for it, you're going to get it today. You're going to get it times 3. We are here, Bobbi, Buddy, myself, and we have a great topic today. As you know, we rotate the topics. Downsizing done right is the topic today. So if you have a parent, a grandparent, someone in the family, friend, or anything, I'll just set the stage as we get started here. Now's a great time to check in. We're going to have an expert guest. We're going to talk about this very, very important issue. Downsizing, that's right, downsizing. It is going on in a big way, and a lot of people are benefiting from it, and quite frankly, a lot of people have to do it for many different reasons. So that's a topic today for sure as we roll into our beautiful Friday.
And hello, Joe.
Good to see you guys.
It's great to be here, side by side, rather than trying to connect
That's
over
right.
the airwaves. Today is Living Longer, Living Better series, and you know, this week in my blog is the Senior Spotlight Week, and so we have been doing Senior Focus, and today we have a wonderful friend, client, gentleman named Fred Sommer. Hello, Fred.
Hello, Bobbi.
And I am going to be introducing our audience to him, and he's got lots to tell us. You also already know that the last 3 days you could watch different videos in which Fred offers some wonderful insights when it comes to moving and downsizing. So please feel free to join me on my blogs. They're 4 times a week. Go to bobbidecker.com. That's BOBBIDECKER.com. And if you would like to be alerted to the special postings that we put on, please just email me, and we'll make sure that we put you on our notification emails. Now, I just want to welcome Fred.
Welcome in, Fred.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be with you. So
now,
where would you like me to start?
Let me take it up from here, Fred, if we can, because you're not only a great client, but you've done a very detailed and very focused approach to downsizing. We've kind of talked about this issue a bunch of times, but I think we're going to find out some very unique things that Fred took a look at in the way he went about the process. But Fred's not, shall we say, not a neophyte to downsizing. He's done it before this most recent downsize. So, Fred, maybe you could get a little bit and tell us a little bit about your first downsizing when you moved from Foster City to San Mateo. So you're a veteran because that was your first one, and then the real news is going to get into your second one. But give us some insight on your first downsize, if you would.
Great. Thank you, Bobbi. Buddy. My first move was about 8 plus years ago, when I moved from a 4-bedroom house that I was rattling around in alone, being widowed, 2,000 square feet and 4 bedrooms, and I moved to a condo with 3 bedrooms and about 1,625 square feet. And what was the most difficult thing is where and how to start. It's very easy to get overwhelmed, and I met a gentleman, actually, who was ready to move, and I asked him, why don't you? And he says, I've got a house full of books, and I don't know where to start.
Oh, we've heard the story many times.
In my case, I approached it a little bit more systematically. I decided what goes and what fills room by room, starting with the kitchen. Okay, now, obviously, a kitchen is a kitchen. Not true. Is it about the same size? Does it have similar storage and cabinetry and shelving? And how do you go about finding that out? Well, you take pictures, you measure, and you get a floor plan. Then you decide, what fits where. and does it really fit, or does the kitchen need remodeling? And, well, in my case, everything did fit, but I didn't like the layout, so later after I moved in, I had the kitchen remodeled, so it was much more functional. But that's one thing. You take it room by room, and you took item by item and saying, where will it go? Next thing was, I looked at my old master bedroom. It was huge. It had a raised retreat. It was much, much larger than the new master bedroom. So it was obvious my furniture would not all fit. What do? You can move some of it and sell the rest. You can sell it all or buy new. And now if you make a decision, obviously it now says some of it or all of it needs to sell. So now you go into another decision-making process. Where to sell it? Do you give it away? Do you put it on consignment? And now, what can you get for it if you sell one piece or two pieces? Say you keep the bed and the dresser and you sell everything else. Or if you go to put it out for pricing, are you going to get more if you sell the whole set? Well, I made the decision to sell all in a consignment store in Burlingame. That worked out absolutely beautifully because I bought a new bed, and I bought a new dresser, and now I knew it was going to fit the new space. Okay.
That's perfect. And what you're saying is there's lots of detail, and if you don't start to plan early for your move, you could wind up in very, very chaotic circumstances as moving date approaches.
Yes. Now, obviously, there's some other things as well. I moved from a house with a garden and a garage that had a workshop to a condo where I was not responsible for anything outside in the yard, and I had no workshop in the garage because there was no need to it. So what do you do with hoses, fertilizers, tools, etc.? There's a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff. You give it to a friend. Yeah, maybe you have a son-in-law that can take some of the tools, and some of the stuff like nobody wants. So now you have to have the issue of hauling things away or getting it hauled away. Now, all of this can take weeks. The key is to start with one room and decide what to do with the stuff in one room.
Yeah, good step-by-step plan.
Right. The next item, obviously, is, okay, you've made the decision. All of this takes weeks. And next is, okay, you're faced with the physical task of packing, cleaning, hauling, painting, staging, and moving. Okay? Mm-hmm. So here it is, the timing is essential. You move to the condo and then sell the house? Do you live in the house until you can sell the condo? You can occupy the condo? Does the condo need some painting or modifications or before you can move into it? List all the issues, and here the realtor's contacts and recommendations are essential.
Very good. That was a good summary.
That's a good summary.
Good summary, Fred. Good summary. This is Joe Cucchiara. Welcome again on the show.
Okay.
You have a lot of wisdom here, and we can't wait to continue to hear it. Bobbi had mentioned earlier we can't put you in that retirement class, so I know that you stay very active and busy, and so you love the benefits of staying that way. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would, about how important is that? I mean, this topic of downsizing and making adjustments one thing, but the other thing is the health and vibrancy. Tell us about how you stay that way and keep fit.
Well, I actually, I hate to admit it, but I actually started to get to the issue of getting fit once I was diagnosed with diabetes. Okay. And I actually didn't start hiking until I was age 60.
Good for you.
I like to stay fit and active both physically and mentally, and I volunteer. Let's take the volunteer side first. Most of you know about Lions Clubs. It's an international service organization with local clubs. The motto is "We Serve." But there are also regional organizations, foundation. There's one, the Lion's Eye Foundation of California, Nevada. We work with over 300 local clubs, and they sponsor the less fortunate members of our community who need eye surgery. They arrange to get them to San Francisco. The Lion's Eye Foundation provides them with motels, medications, and surgeries and post-surgery follow-up, all at no cost. And now I am a past
that's
president.
wonderful.
On through the chairs. I'm still actively involved. In October, I'll be going to the next Board of Trustee meetings in Reno. So that's the volunteer side, and going through there takes a lot of time, but it's very, very satisfying, especially if
very
you're
rewarding.
Now, as far as
but you also have your Pilates. That's what I'm jealous of. You know more about that now than I do.
On the physical side, I take Pilates weekly. And what it is, it's a reformer. It's a machine where you move, where you have a moving platform and you do exercises against spring tensions. It's great for core strength and balance. I do that once a week in the gym, and I try to do a hike at least 5 miles once a week with significant elevation change. And the fun side, which also gets me exercise and walking, is playing bocce ball once a week.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'll bet you're very good at it, too, aren't you?
We've been on a championship team in Foster City about 7 or 8 times over the last few years.
Congratulations.
I'll give a plug here for the Calamari kids, just in case one of them listens in.
That's great.
Okay.
Well, the vibrancy is a big deal, and I also know the organization is, Fred, because we had long conversations about that, and we're always saying that you need to decide where you're going first. And I remember the very first phone call from you to me was that I am going to go do research, and I will be back at the beginning of June, and then I want to interview with you. And that just seemed so organized to me.
Yeah.
Is that what you would tell people to do first?
Yes. Organization and planning, and even keeping a calendar where you put the end date, what your target date is when you want to move, and that may be not fixed, but all the things that need to happen, and put a date next to it. So then you plan it, and what it is, the beautiful aspects of planning and organizing is your stress is much reduced, or you have no stress at all, and as a result, you have better health.
Yeah, we've probably been through. I can't tell you how many people we've been through that the stress really mounts as they get closer to the date because they haven't done quite the kind of planning that Fred's done. Fred, you've done a fabulous job. We're going to get into more detail about it.
So, what we're gonna do, Fred, is we're gonna take a quick break here. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to pay for some commercials. That's what we do, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna continue this conversation. This is Joe Cucchiara sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. We're talking about downsizing done right today. 1-800-516-1220. We'll be back with you to continue in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Are you and your lifestyle fulfilled by the properties that you own? Do you need to rethink or look at different options, perhaps even in different places on the globe? Either locally or globally, you need competencies and commitments to achieve your goals most effectively. Bobbi Decker, working with her teammates in Sotheby's International Realty, with over 750 offices in 52 countries and territories, can help. Even here in the San Francisco Bay Area, if a property isn't what she or her team believes they can effectively market, they will find a high-quality Sotheby's agent that has the right expertise. For more information or assistance, contact Bobbi at 650-346-5352. Visit her website at www.bobbidecker.com or email bobby.decker@sotheby'srealty.com. That's bobby.decker@sotheby'srealty.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back in. Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in, listening to us this afternoon. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live, joined alongside Bobbi and Buddy, as we normally are on Fridays. We're talking about downsizing done right. Downsizing done right. And our guest today, Fred, is talking about first segment, summarized his experience with it, talked a little bit about his fitness, how he stays young and vibrant. And now we're going to continue on and pass it on and talk about what's next here.
Yes, and Fred, we were talking, you and I have had long conversations, as I said before, about what did you want, why did you want it, how did you start the search, how did you end up where you are today, what things are involved in this search, because it can seem really daunting.
Yes, it is. Actually, what started me on this process, I've been a widower for almost 10 years. True, I've had some relationships, but nothing that seemed to work out long term. And frankly, I got tired of one thing, that is cooking. So I looked around, and I wanted to stay in the area. I wanted to stay in the San Mateo, greater San Francisco Bay Area. So I found a place in Palo Alto, and it had a long 2-year waiting list. It wasn't ideal. It was formal. It was not a relaxed atmosphere, but I signed up anyway, hoping that it would give me something to fall back to in case nothing else came up. And then a second problem occurred, traffic. And not wanting to cook, and with traffic now it meant I needed to find something outside the San Francisco Bay Area where traffic is horrendous. Okay, I looked in various places from Southern California all the way up to Sacramento and further north. And my objective really was to find a continuous care community that had all the necessary places, from independent living in cases I need surgery, a temporary recovery place with physical therapy, memory care, assisted living, and nursing home. True, I looked and looked and looked, and there is nothing from Sacramento all the way down to Los Angeles that covers all of those things except the place that I had in Palo Alto. So I kept looking, and I found, I got a card in the mail inviting me to an hour seminar in a hotel in Palo Alto about Rogue Valley Manor in Medford, Oregon, Southern Oregon. It was supposed to be a 1-hour presentation. It turned into 2 hours because everybody was so interested. I talked to the sales director afterwards, and it looked like it might be a fit. So she invited me up to come look at the place at their expense. So I went up there and spent 3 nights and 2 days. They had a nice guest room for me. All the meals were free since I was a prospective member. They even had wine for free. Not only that, for the 3 nights that I was there, they provided a different host for me every night. And there are 3 or 4 dining venues. Some of them are buffet, some of them are informal, some of them are sit-down. I sampled each one of them, and without exception, every single person I met said, "You will like it here. Welcome." Every single person that I met in the elevator, at the buffet line, said, "Where are you from?" "I've been here 10 years." I met people who had been there 27 years, and they still say, "You will like it here."
Wow.
I had no intention of signing anything, but before I left, I wrote them a check and got on the waiting list.
Well, you did such a thorough search.
Yeah.
You did such a thorough search.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have anything on any mass scale in California that includes nursing home. So at the time of your life, when you're not able to make rational decisions, they kick you out and hope you can find the nursing home.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, that's
you're right. You're not the first person to say that, Fred, and that's something that everyone needs to look at because that's a real fear. I mean, everything's hunky dory as long as you can do stuff.
Yeah. It's when you can't. That's when it becomes problematic, and it's yet another transition that's a very difficult time to make another transition when you're incapacitated.
There is a beautiful place in the Santa Rosa vicinity, and I talked to them. They don't have a nursing home, so I talked to their sales and marketing people and say, okay, if somebody needs a nursing home and you can't accommodate them, they cannot accommodate for 1 or 2 weeks on a transitional basis, what do you do? So our nursing director finds them a nursing home. So I said, can I talk to your nursing director to find out what nursing homes they do consider and place people in? They wouldn't let me do that, so therefore that place was now off my list.
All right, Fred, we're going to have to take another quick break, and for the audience, too, the same. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue our conversation about downsizing done right. If you have any questions for us or our guest, 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be back with you to continue in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live, sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. Today the topic, downsizing done right. We have an expert on the line that Fred has been kind enough to spend some time with us. If you have any questions for Fred or us, 1-800-516-1220. I'll turn it over to Buddy.
Yeah, Fred, Bobbi mentioned earlier that there were 3 videos that led up to the show today, and one of them showed some very interesting tools and techniques that you use to plan for downsizing. Can you give us a little, shall we say, a verbal picture of the picture that you create to work your plan for downsizing?
Yes. Actually, you need to know what place you're moving into. So what I did once I decided to move to the Rogue Valley Manor, there were potentially 3 different apartments or units that I was interested in. So I asked for a floor plan, a scale floor plan from each, a 1/4 inch to the foot. And it showed basically each unit as is. And then what I did is I measured all my furniture that I know I wanted to move, having taken care of the things that I was going to give away. And having made a decision, for example, I was either going to take my dining room table or my kitchen table. I made 1/4 inch to the foot scale cutouts on Post-its. And I placed
I love it.
Isn't it something everybody should do for every move?
Smart.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
if you don't have I happen to have a 1/4 inch to a triangular architect scale that had a 1/4 inch to the foot, but if you don't have that, a regular ruler will work. You know, everybody has some sort of a tape measure or a ruler, and a 1/4 inch is 1 foot. So if you have something 4 feet long, that's 1 inch. So you make a Post-it cutouts, and then you try to place it on the floor plan and see what it looks like from a top-down view. And if you don't have the imagination to see what it would look like otherwise, you very quickly get the idea, is there enough room that I can open doors? Is there enough room that I can walk by? Is this where I really want to put it? Or does it make sense? And then since it's Post-its, you can move it around. So,
it's a beautiful graph. Everybody should go back and make sure they look at that video where you show them the whole graph and how you laid it out. This is really a great plan for anybody that's moving.
Yeah. Where can they see the video again about that? At Bobbi's site, right?
www.bobbidecker.com, and go to it'll be in the archive now under the blog. But those were the last 3 days. I think it was yesterday's blog post, so they can go back in the archive and see it.
Hey, Fred, so how's the new home working out so far?
Absolutely great, better than expectations. Let me put it that way.
Oh, wonderful!
I'm completely moved in. And they have something here called a foundation. It's owned by the residents. And whenever somebody doesn't want anything or need anything, they donate it to the foundation. And they will come and pick up. I bought 2 bookcases and a clock and another minor little casual table that it turns out I really didn't want. So I called the foundation. They picked them up and thanked me and gave me a donation slip for it. Now, what do they do with it? Once a year, they have a big sale, and the proceeds of that go to the foundation, and they do a lot of good things. For example, if a resident runs out of money for a financial crisis, they don't get kicked out. The foundation pays for them.
Oh, how wonderful.
They also support the residents by helping upgrade and maintain the swimming pool, the fitness centers, the gardens, etc. So everything is in top condition. And it's been working for many, many years. So that was good. On the flip side, I needed a large picture, about a 40 by 40 inch. Well, there are extra pictures to be had. I picked one, took it up to my room, decided it fit. 15 minutes later, maintenance hung it for me, and I made a small donation to the foundation.
So there you go. That's good stuff. All right, Fred, we're going to have to take another one of those breaks, but when we come back, we're going to continue the dialogue, the story, the information, the expertise. If you have any questions for the guest, 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon as we wind down the show. Just a couple segments left, and the topic today has been a good one, downsizing. I'll throw it out there again. If there's anybody in your family, parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, neighbors that are going through this or about to go through it, or they just don't know where to start. The place to start is here, the radio show, right, guys? I mean, this is the place. Anything about real estate, we tell you all the time. Perfect example. We have this expert guest on today talking about downsizing. And just before you start, make those decisions, give us a call, check in, email.
We can put you in touch with these people. It's going to make it much easier if you have something to scale like Fred had, and you don't end up with just a huge truck with all this furniture and nowhere to put it and no teams. Like Fred, you're very fortunate to have that team up there that seems to have a real idea of what it takes to make a smooth move. Yes.
So actually, it starts actually with selecting the right realtor, the right person to sell my place. And here I covered part of that in the video section, but let me just reiterate. There are a few key things that I was looking at. One, I wanted somebody who was up to date on the latest marketing technique, using the current electronic techniques. I wanted somebody who is knowledgeable about the community and the issues such as the homeowners association, the rules and the regulations, and what you can and cannot do and to expect. And above all, I wanted somebody who is current about the costs and pricing and has had recent experience selling real estate in the market in the geographic area in which I resided.
Aren't you lucky? What kind of expert do you have there?
Joe.
I
have someone in mind. Do you?
I tried the old realtor who sold me the house, and he came up on top. but I decided on Bobbi anyway.
Oh, God, I've got 3 guys against me now. There's just no rest for the weary.
Thanks, Fred. We like to get after her every now and then. We appreciate the help. You know,
well,
part
if
of
you can't
the
have
whole
humor. You know, life is pretty dull, right?
Absolutely, you're right.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Well, we know the process that you went through, and you're very thorough. And what it really called out, I think, in some measure for Bobbi and the team was that they had to have that same level of thoroughness and helping you to get everything done that you needed to get done. And there's kind of a list of things that a process that they went through. Maybe you could sketch a little bit of some of the things where you got that extra help that was really important for not only you as a senior, but almost any senior that's making a move and maybe hasn't made one for a while and needs some extra assistance, like who's going to help me move? How are they going to help me move? What do I need to do to get my house ready? Give me some insight around those things, if you could.
Well, typically when you move, you use the realtor's contacts and recommendation in any area, like cleaning, janitorial service, painting, packing, furniture moving, staging, etc. In my case, we decided, it was going to be staged partially with my furniture. There was really no janitorial service or cleaning necessary. We weren't going to paint anything, but now came packing and also disposing of the things I wasn't going to take. Here, Bobbi recommended Helen Ingwerson, Top Move Management, a fantastic organization, great lady. They will do just about anything. I had them pack my kitchen for me, and that went into 2 steps. Helen gave me red dots and green dots. I rearranged my shelf. Anything on a green dot was going to come with me. Anything on a red dot was going to be donated.
I love it.
So,
isn't that great?
That's great.
She's helped 3 other clients
great.
since you, Fred, and they've all said the same thing. Those dots make the difference.
Well, they do. They make it simple.
But you do need to go step by step, shelf by shelf, and figure out what you're going to take or not. In my case, I really downsized. There were 17 packed boxes of stuff to be donated from the kitchen alone, and 10 boxes were going with me.
Wow. Say that again. 17 boxes that were not going to go.
Of items that I donated to Goodwill, to the Cancer Foundation, to St. Vincent de Paul, etc., from my kitchen alone, and only 10 boxes of items that I was taking with me.
So when you're moving to a facility where you used to cook, you don't have to cook anymore or to any extensive degree.
Right.
So all that stuff became meaningless.
Anything baking related was going to go. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to roll out dough, so any of the stuff out there, and muffin tins, everything else, I didn't need those.
Yeah, that's all gone.
Mm-hmm. And how about your movers? You've got the gals got you absolutely organized on that, and you are organized. They kept saying that you were making their job easy, and then you would say, they're making my life easy. So that was kind of a mutual admiration going on.
It worked very well for every party.
Yeah, that was the other thing, the key thing, helping me to actually get rid of the stuff and dispose of things. Helen did that with Top Move Management and her 2 lovely ladies. But then the other thing was the moving company itself. And Bobbi, you made some very nice recommendations. Unfortunately, 1 or 2 of them didn't work out because they were too busy in San Francisco, didn't come down to the Bay Area. But one of them, Shamrock Moving in Menlo Park, actually came in with a great price. And above all, they did something which I understand from other people here is pretty rare. They packed me on Monday morning, they moved on Monday, and unpacked me Tuesday.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Oh, boy.
At 2:30, all the furniture and carpets and everything were in their place in my new apartment, and all the boxes were stored in the second bathroom where I could access them one at a time, and all of them were labeled because I knew where everything was going to go from the little Post-its.
Very good. Well, let's hold it right there, Fred. What we're going to do is take our last break, and we're going to come back and finish up. If you have any questions, once again, about downsizing, 800-516-1220. We'll be back with you to continue and finish up in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon as we wind down the show. Just a couple minutes left, and we're talking today about downsizing done right. Our guest, Fred, is enlightening us in many different ways, personal experience, and giving us an idea how to step-by-step take yourself through this downsizing process. Again, real quickly, 1-800-516-1220, or you could always go to our website, RERadiolive.com, for more information. Bobbi?
Well, Fred, if you could wrap this all up in a neat package, what do you say is the most critical element when these kind of moves come along?
Really, there is so much going on and so many things, so many aspects. So keeping abreast and knowing what's happening when, and that boils down to a very simple word, communication. Everybody...
Yes.
If there's any change, they need to convey what's going on. If there is a new aspect of things, they need to convey what is going on so that you can take care of it. For example, Top Move Management, Helen decided one of my pieces of furniture should not be donated. It should fetch some money in a consignment place. So here is a change, and you have to put something new on your calendar. Is it going to be picked up and when? Mm-hmm. So if you know all the things that are going to happen and when, that's communicating any changes and verifying that everything is going to plan. That's the key. Then it goes smoothly and it goes stress-free.
Well, listen, thank you so much for the kudos, buddy, and I appreciate it. We had fun working with you, and we're happy that you've been happily transplanted.
Yes, and Fred, you know, we took during the break, we talked a little bit about the fact that Bobbi and I have a list for people when they go to downsize to work their way through. I think you've actually helped us add a couple of pages to that list with the detail that you have. That's fabulous. And for the folks in the audience, we want more people to get into Bobbi's blog because there's lots of great information. On Thursdays is really our spotlight on for seniors, and but Monday we have a market analysis update every Monday on the blog. On Tuesdays we actually review this program, so we put it up for people, and we have a little lead in for it. So there'll be more about Fred on Tuesday's blog, and then Wednesday's kind of an open day unless we have something special we want to put on, and then Thursday, of course, is a Senior Spotlight, so there'll always be something there, and we're working with Fred on some interesting things to put up that he's provided for us about his new facility, and then, of course, Friday is always the announcement about what's going to be on the show. So if you'd like to be more attuned to what's going to be on the blog, make sure you tune in to BobbiDecker.com, and you can send Bobbi an email, and we'll make sure you get on an alert list to know what's coming very shortly in the list.
Very good. Fred, we want to thank you for your time and expertise, and it was really enlightening, and I'm sure when people go back and listen to this podcast, which several hundred do each day, they're going to get a lot out of it. So thanks again for your time, Fred.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.
We're all going to come up and see you. We'll have a radio show from there on the golf course, right, Joe?
On the golf course, I'm there.
I thought with the 7 bottles of wine.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and the wine.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you so much, Fred.
There you go. Take care. Have a great weekend, Fred. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. We're sitting alongside Bobbi and Buddy. Remember, you can tune in Monday through Friday from 3 to 4. And remember to download those podcasts, too. We're getting a couple hundred a day. We want to keep that number growing. RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with you next week.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in. Log in, download our podcast, discover more at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.